Imagine stepping into a quiet suburban street in the 1960s. The sun is shining just right, the lawns are perfectly manicured, and every house looks like it came straight out of a postcard. Welcome to a world where life was slower, simpler, and oddly perfect, at least on the surface. You're not just walking through a neighborhood, you're stepping into a meme waiting to happen, a slice of old America frozen in time. Every detail is curated, from the bright mailboxes to the pastel-colored doors, from shiny chrome cars parked neatly in driveways, to kids riding bicycles in synchronized chaos. Life here feels like a perfect aesthetic, a world designed for photographs, magazine spreads, and daydreams of ideal suburban living. And yet, lurking beneath the surface is a quirky, often funny reality, the perfect material for today's memes. Suburban moms are out front, tending to their lawns, chatting with neighbors, or hanging laundry on the line with meticulous precision. Fathers are mowing the lawn or washing their polished cars, giving thumbs-up poses like a vintage influencer. Children ride their bikes in matching outfits, scooters buzzing along freshly paved sidewalks, and dogs chase balls across green yards with impeccable timing. Everything is organized, cheerful, and aesthetically pleasing, like a living, breathing diorama of 1960s America. But of course, not everything is as serene as it looks. Behind the white picket fences, chaos hides. Burnt toast, mismatched socks, spilled milk on Formica countertops, and the occasional lawnmower catastrophe. It is this contrast between picture-perfect order and tiny imperfections that makes suburban life from the 1960s so meme-worthy today. You can almost hear the silent commentary, life is perfect until it isn't. The 1960s suburban aesthetic wasn't just about homes, it was a culture. Weekly grocery shopping trips in station wagons, Saturday night family dinners, ice cream socials, and community gatherings. All these moments created a rhythm that defined an entire generation. The way people dressed, drove, and decorated their homes now seems like a cinematic snapshot. But back then it was just everyday life. And today, when we remix it in MMD style, it becomes both nostalgic and hilarious. In this video, we're going to explore the sights, sounds, and everyday quirks of 1960s suburban life. From the perfectly set kitchen tables to the retro cars cruising the streets, you'll see why this era inspires memes, aesthetic edits, and endless fascination. This isn't just history. It's a living, breathing meme from the past, and we're here to experience it POV style, as if you were really walking down that suburban street, observing, laughing, and marveling at the charm of old America. Life in a 1960s suburb was a fascinating blend of routine, charm, and unexpected quirks. On the surface, it looked flawless: tidy lawns, pastel homes, and synchronized family schedules. But if you take a closer look, you'll notice the subtle humor and peculiarities that make suburban life from this era so meme-worthy today. Mornings began with a ritual. Moms bustled in aprons, frying bacon, brewing coffee, and laying out perfectly buttered toast. Fathers dressed in crisp shirts and slacks, ready to head off to work in their shiny station wagons, giving a nod to order and discipline. Kids dressed in matching outfits rode bicycles or roller skates down the sidewalks, waving to neighbors while keeping a careful distance from the perfectly trimmed hedges. Every scene looked like it was ready for a magazine cover. Yet small accidents and mishaps always occurred. A dog running off with a newspaper, a child dropping a bike, or a forgotten loaf of bread burning in the oven. These tiny imperfections added life, humor, and authenticity, the perfect material for memes today. Grocery shopping was another interesting aspect of daily life. Families drove in station wagons with wood paneling, unloading paper bags filled with fresh produce, boxed goods, and sometimes the latest kitchen gadget that promised to revolutionize cooking. Housewives compared recipes, exchanged tips, and often discussed trends from magazines like Good Housekeeping or Ladies' Home Journal. The streets were filled with chatter, laughter, and the unmistakable sound of roller skates clattering on sidewalks, a soundtrack to suburban life that feels nostalgic and amusing all at once. Weekends brought more color to the suburbs. Lawn mowing, barbecues, and neighborhood gatherings created opportunities for social competition and display. Who had the greenest lawn? Who baked the most impressive pie? Who had the shiniest car? Every small victory became a talking point, a subtle way to show off in the community. And let's not forget the quirky home inventions: avocado-colored refrigerators, chrome-finished toasters, and decorative items that now seem hilarious in hindsight. Each was a status symbol, a trendsetter moment, and in today's terms, meme-worthy content waiting to be recreated. Community culture thrived in churches, schools, and local events. Kids attended swing dances or little league games, while parents mingled and swapped advice, recipes, and stories. Even small incidents, a sprinkler spraying across the lawn, a stray dog chasing a bicycle, or a child sneaking an extra scoop of ice cream, could turn into a conversation that spread quickly through the neighborhood. These small, seemingly mundane moments made suburban life dynamic, humorous, and perfectly suited for MMD-style reinterpretation. Ultimately, 1960s suburban life was a mix of order and chaos, aesthetics and hilarity. It was predictable, yet surprising, idyllic, yet full of tiny imperfections that make it endlessly fascinating today. From morning routines to weekend gatherings, every detail contributed to a world that is both nostalgic and absurd. The perfect setting for our POV journey, bringing old America alive in vivid, meme-worthy detail. When we think of 1960s suburban life, what stands out aren't just the houses or cars, but the iconic moments and quirky cultural habits that make this era endlessly entertaining. These are the things that feel like memes before memes even existed. From playful mishaps to perfectly staged domestic bliss, suburban life was full of situations that are now hilarious in hindsight. Let's start with the morning rituals. Picture a mother in a pastel apron, carefully preparing breakfast while juggling multiple tasks. The toast always popped up at the right time, the coffee was strong and steaming, and the kids marched in neatly dressed outfits. Or so it seemed. Yet in reality, the cat might jump onto the counter, a child might spill the orange juice, or the dog might steal a slice of bacon. These little accidents, repeated in every household, became the classic POV chaos moments that today's MMD edits exaggerate for comedic effect. Neighborhood interactions also contributed to the humor. Sunday drives in station wagons, spontaneous block parties, and impromptu lawn competitions were prime material for memes. Who had the straightest garden rose? Who baked the most over-the-top pie? These small competitions created a silent rivalry, playful yet hilarious. And when someone's fancy car got stuck in the driveway or a sprinkler soaked the neighbor's freshly ironed dress, it became the kind of shared story that would go viral in its day, if there had been social media. Then there's fashion and lifestyle. Mothers in carefully ironed dresses, fathers in short-sleeved button-ups, and children in matching uniforms made every day a photo-ready moment. Hair was rolled, shoes were polished, and accessories were chosen to impress. Imagine adding today's meme humor, a perfectly staged lawn, a dad's exaggerated thumbs up while mowing, a child sneaking a snack, all combined with MMD animation to highlight the absurd perfection of suburban life. These edits bring out the playful contrast between ideal life and real-life chaos that defines the humor of the era. Even the small domestic inventions contributed to iconic moments. Avocado green appliances, chrome-finished toasters, patterned curtains, and rotary phones weren't just tools. They were cultural symbols. A dropped phone receiver, a toaster mishap, or a blender overflowing could be instantly hilarious and shared among neighbors, creating micro moments of laughter and connection. MMD-style edits amplify these moments, exaggerating the quirks to show the absurdity and charm of everyday 1960s life. Finally, leisure activities added to the humor. Backyard barbecues, roller skating afternoons, ice cream truck visits, and kids playing stickball in the street were all rich with meme potential. The contrast between serene suburban aesthetics and the inevitable chaos, spilled ice cream tripping kids or dogs chasing balls, created natural comedy. These are the moments that MMD-style animations bring to life, highlighting the nostalgia, humor, and timeless charm of old America. As we wrap up our journey through 1960s suburban life, It's amazing to see how this world was full of charm, humor, and meme-worthy moments, all before the internet even existed. From perfectly manicured lawns to roller skating kids, avocado-colored kitchens to neighborhood competitions, life in the suburbs was a mix of order, chaos, and endless entertainment. We've seen how daily routines, quirky mishaps, and playful competitions created moments that could easily go viral today. Moms multitasking in pastel aprons, dads giving exaggerated thumbs-ups while mowing the lawn, kids sneaking snacks or racing down the streets. These were everyday snapshots of humor, creativity, and life that left lasting impressions on their communities. Now here's a fun question for you. If you could live in a 1960s suburban neighborhood for one day, what would you do to stand out? Would you host the ultimate block party, bake the most impressive pie, or show off your perfectly styled outfits and hair? Comment below that we want to see your creativity. And if you enjoyed this trip into the aesthetic and humorous world of 1960s suburbs, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more videos exploring America's forgotten eras, nostalgic vibes, and MMD-style adventures. Remember, life doesn't need social media to be viral. Sometimes all it takes is a little creativity, personality, and a playful sense of humor, just like the suburban families of the 1960s. Thanks for watching POV. You're living in a 1960s suburban meme, old America aesthetic. Stay nostalgic, stay inspired, and keep imagining the humor and charm hidden in everyday life.